Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. It is the end of the year-ish. It's December 25th if you're watching this when it goes live, so Merry Christmas. And I thought I would not only bring y'all a favorites video, but let it be one that y'all chose. You told me what your favorite recipes are that you found from my channel, and I've got a little surprise, so make sure you stay to the end. It's kind of important. You don't want to miss it. Like I mentioned, today's video are going to be recipes that I have shared in the past, but I did a call on Instagram and on my community post here on YouTube for your favorites that you've found from my channel. Now, most of the recipes that I share are not my original recipes. They are ones that I go out like on Pinterest, Facebook, all the different places and find those recipes and try them out for my family and then let y'all know what we think. I just kind of weed through some of the expanse out there for y'all to find really great recipes and share them here on my channel. But since I've been doing this for a couple of years now, there are a lot of recipes out there, obviously, that I've shared because I usually share 3 new recipes every single week. And I wanted to hear from y'all. I wanted to know which ones you have tried and loved and has become a family favorite for you. Y'all came in with great answers, and there were several people who mentioned several of the same recipes, and those are the ones I picked for this video. So for today, I've got 5 main dishes and 2 side dishes. So I sat down last night and I went through all of the comments on my community post on YouTube and on Instagram. Little plug here, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I share a lot more of day-to-day stuff, so you definitely should be following me over there. Here's my handle. I screenshotted these comments and I'm gonna put them here on the screen so you may see your name here on the screen. And let's get started. Okay, the very first one is probably the most recent one from all of the ones that were shared. I just did this video not long ago, and it was actually a subby supper. It is Chipotle glazed meatloaf, and it was a subby supper from Michelle. I know of at least 5 of you who mentioned that this has become a staple in your house: Shannon, Crystal, Kelly, Marcy, and Rena. And for this one to kind of win out over the meatloaf that I normally made, which was the Paula Deen barbecue meatloaf, both Steven and Cole liked the Chipotle glazed one better. So now it's the go-to meatloaf at our house. So here you go. Okay, the first thing we're gonna be doing is sauteing some garlic and onions on the stove. So I wanna go ahead and get those chopped up. And you know what? I'm just gonna use my garlic press for this instead of sitting here and chopping it. So let's go on over to the stove. I've got a medium skillet here. I'm just going to heat it to medium-high heat. While I'm waiting on that to come up to temperature, I am going to chop up, I have a couple of Chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. So I'm gonna chop these up pretty fine. That's pretty gross. Okay, our pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of butter. Now I'm gonna add in our onion. It called for 1 medium onion. I had half of a large onion left from last night's dinner, so that's what we used. And I'm just gonna saute these until they're translucent, and then I will mince the garlic directly in here and cook it for another minute. And then we'll just be setting this to the side to let it cool down. Okay, so I'm gonna add my garlic in here. Can all 3 of them fit in? They can. Okay, we're done with that. I'm gonna turn off the stove, set this to the side, let it cool, and let's go back over here. The recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of diced bread slices. I've got 2 slices here. I can go grab more if I need it. I've got my cup measure just in case. I don't want to get this wrong and cause my meatloaf to be too dry. So I am gonna measure it. Okay, so I didn't quite need the 2 slices. I probably could have gotten away with 1, but we have about 3/4 a cup of diced bread. Okay, so Steven is going to shred some pepper jack cheese. We only need 2/3 a cup, so we didn't get the big contraption out. He's gonna do that really quickly for me. In here, I am going to add 1/4 cup of milk. Gracie is very aware that there is cheese being shredded. This is pepper jack, baby. You don't want that. Okay, so that milk soaked into the bread really quickly, which I'm pretty sure is exactly what we wanted it to do. I'm gonna add in 2 pounds of ground beef. This is 80/20. Now I'm gonna add in my 2 chipotle peppers that have been minced. I've got some spices here. I've got 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We only need 2/3 a cup of this pepper jack cheese. And this is where you would add in the cilantro if you were adding cilantro, but since Cole is not a huge fan, I'm gonna leave that out. And lastly, I'm just gonna beat this egg and add it into the mixture as well. Okay, I'm gonna start mixing this up. Steven went to go grab my onions. Yep, you can just go ahead and put that in there, babe. Thank you. Okay, baby. I've mixed it as much as I can with a fork. You know what's about to happen. I've already taken off my rings. This is about to get serious. Okay, we're about to put our meatloaf into the meatloaf pan. I did not know there was such a thing. So the recipe said to put it in a meatloaf pan, and I was like, it means a bread pan, right? That's what I've always used. Comment below and let me know, did you even know there was such thing as a meatloaf pan? You probably did. I'm probably the last human on earth to know about it. But I ordered one from Amazon, and it looks like a bread pan, but it has that nifty little feature. So the grease is going to go to the bottom of the pan, and then we can lift the meatloaf up out of it. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm gonna lightly spray. So now I'm going to make our sauce. I've got 1/2 cup of ketchup, 2 to 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar, and to kick it up a notch, I've got these chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, and I'm gonna grab some of the sauce from here without grabbing a pepper. There we go. There's some sauce. I'm just gonna keep grabbing as much as I can. It calls for a couple of tablespoons. I don't know if I'll be able to get that much out, but we'll try. Now I'm just gonna mix all of this together. And we're gonna put 1/2 of this sauce on top of the meatloaf. The other 1/2 that we're reserving is gonna be for when we serve our meatloaf. Okay, this is going in the oven at 350 for at least an hour, possibly up to an hour and a half. You just want to make sure that the internal temperature reaches 150 to 155 degrees. I just took this out. It has been in for just an hour, and be careful when you're taking it out if you're using a meatloaf pan. These are not handles. These will lift it out of the pan. I just grabbed the handles and almost made a huge mess, but it's okay. Crisis averted. I checked the temperature. It is up to temperature. I'm gonna let it rest for a few minutes. The boys aren't here. They're gonna be back in just a little bit. So I'm gonna let this rest, cool down for just a minute. I'm gonna make some mashed potatoes really quickly, and then it'll be time to eat. The next one I'm going to share is a different twist on just your regular chili. It is buffalo chicken chili. I know that at least 3 people mentioned this, Miss Bryant, Taylor, and Mallory. And I'm going to be really honest, as much as we loved that one, I kind of forgot about it. And I haven't made it again. And when I went through all of my comments and saw that several of you said that it was a staple in your house, I was like, why have I not made that again? So that's going to go on the meal plan again very soon in our house. I have to agree with you, it's a favorite of ours too. Tonight we're trying a new spin on chili. This is buffalo chicken chili. I'm really excited to give it a try. It's all in one pot and it's super easy. got my small Dutch oven here. I'm gonna add just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna saute my vegetables. I'm just gonna let these soften for a minute or two, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of butter in here with it. So if you've been around for a while, you know Stephen loves garlic. The recipe doesn't call for it, but here we are. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of butter. I've got a pound of ground chicken. I'm gonna add this in, and we're gonna cook this until the chicken is cooked through. I'm gonna add just a little salt and pepper. I've got a can of petite diced tomatoes. I did not drain it. I've got 1 can of cannellini beans. I did rinse and drain them. And lastly, to make it truly buffalo style, we're gonna add some Frank's Red Hot Sauce. It calls for about 1/4 cup. Now we're gonna bring this up to a good simmer, and we're gonna put the lid on it and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, which is perfect because that's about how much time we've got left on our cornbread. The next recipe that I'm going to share with you is Alice Springs Chicken, and it's like a knockoff version of Outback's Alice Springs Chicken, and it is so incredibly good. That's always one of my favorites when I go to Outback. That's a go-to. Like, if I don't know what else I want, I'm going to get Alice Springs Chicken, and to be able to make it at home, even better. At least 3 of you mentioned Alice Springs Chicken was one of your favorites: Mrs. Bryant, Lonnie, and Karen. Hey y'all, tonight we're having one of my favorites at Outback. Tonight we're making Alice Springs Chicken. To get started, I'm gonna cut these pieces of bacon in half. We're using about 2 pieces of bacon per chicken breast. And several of you have mentioned to me that when I'm cutting bacon, I should probably just use kitchen shears, that it's a little bit easier. So that's what I'm doing tonight. All right, let's take this over to the stove and get it cooking. Okay, these chicken breasts are pretty thick, so I'm gonna cut these in half just so that they cook evenly. Now I'm gonna get started on Outback's version of their honey mustard. It's really simple, and a friend of mine gave me this recipe. I'm using 1/2 cup of Duke's mayonnaise. They said it's really important that it's Duke's. I'm gonna be using 1/4 cup of honey. And someone told me that I needed to spray my measuring cup with olive oil, and then the honey would just slip right out, which I think is really smart. That worked pretty good. And then lastly, I need 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, I'm gonna give this a try. Well, that's good. That tastes just like the Outback honey mustard. Some of this is gonna go on the chicken, and then I'm gonna reserve a little bit of it for us to use as like a dipping sauce. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of this bacon grease because we're gonna actually sear the chicken before we put it in the oven. The recipe doesn't say to do that, but I think it's gonna give it a lot of extra flavor. I've got this 9 by 13 dish, and I'm just gonna spray it with some olive oil, just so nothing sticks. On the bottom layer, I'm gonna put these baby Bella mushrooms. Cole does not like mushrooms, so I'm not gonna do it all across the bottom, just kind of on a little over half for me and Steven. Next, I'm gonna layer on our chicken. And because we seared this, we're not gonna have to bake it for quite as long as it tells us to in the recipe. The recipe says to bake it for 30 minutes at 350. We're gonna try about 20 minutes and check it after that. Now I'm just gonna put our bacon on top. And you don't have to get this bacon extra crispy because it is gonna go in the oven and bake along with the chicken, so we didn't worry about it being super crispy. Now I'm gonna drizzle on our honey mustard. If I run out, if I have to use all of it, then I'll just make a little bit more for dipping sauce for us. The recipe calls for Monterey Jack cheese. I'm using Colby and Monterey Jack. Okay, this is going in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Okay, another chicken recipe. I know. I've got one more after this and it's not chicken, so if you're not a huge chicken fan, I got one more for you. But this next one is called Monterey Chicken, and I shared this a long time ago on my channel. I think I've shared it twice back when I was first starting What's for Dinners. I chose the newest version of it on my channel, which is still well over a year ago. But Monterey Chicken is so easy and it is so incredibly tasty. It is definitely a staple in our house. At least 3 of you said that this was your favorite. Lori, Randy, and then I don't know your name because it was your Instagram handle, but Full of Lemons on Instagram. Now we're gonna get started on Monterey Chicken. The first thing we need to do is cook some bacon. Now that we've got the bacon cooking, we're going to turn this deep, large skillet to medium-high heat. And we're gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees. The recipe says to season the chicken on both sides with salt and pepper, but we're gonna add one little extra thing. We just recently picked up some smoked paprika and we've really been loving the taste, so we're gonna add that to our chicken as well. If you have a skillet that is oven safe, you can definitely just assemble all of this and put it straight into the oven. but I'm gonna put it in this dish, so I'm gonna spray it first with some olive oil. Now we're gonna pour over the 1 cup of barbecue sauce. And we're gonna sprinkle the cheese over top of that. I am using half and half. I'm using half this queso quesadilla cheese from Walmart and half of this hot jalapeno and habanero jack cheese. We like things a little spicy, but you can use any cheese that you want. You just need about a cup of it in total. Our last meal recipe, I've got 2 side dishes, so hang on. But our last meal, or main dish, is Korean beef. And unfortunately, because of technical difficulties, I could not get that footage downloaded. But I didn't want to skip it because we make it a lot at our house. It's so simple. We always have the ingredients on hand, so it's something that we have pretty frequently. I usually double the sauce just so that we have extra sauce to go over the rice because it's Korean beef and rice. But I did want to mention it, and I am going to link the video below so you can go check it out. But at least 4 of you mentioned that, and I didn't want to skip over it. Grace, Anita, Tennille, and Jenna. So thank y'all for your input, and like I said, that video is linked below. Okay, so now we have 2 side dishes that you guys have said is a staple in your house now. One makes me really happy. Well, they both make me really happy for 2 different reasons. But the first one is brown rice, which is my mama's recipe, and I think it was her mom's recipe. I don't know. I don't know where they originally got it, but it's something I grew up on and we have at every holiday, and I make it every now and then throughout the year here too. But 4 of you mentioned that brown rice is one of your favorites. Haley, Kathleen, full of lemons again, and Melanie. It's really, really simple. 3 ingredients, and then you throw it in the oven. Let's do this. 1 can of French onion soup. 1 can of beef broth, or this beef consomme, and 1 cup of white rice. Now you just cover it and put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes. Okay, that brings us to our very last favorite recipe from y'all. And hands down, this was the most requested or most favorite of everyone. So it should be no shock to you if you've been around for a while, and it is my recipe for green beans. I say it's my recipe. I know that there's probably lots of recipes out there that are very similar, but I kind of concocted this one myself, and it has become a family favorite of ours. And when I shared it with y'all, y'all have fallen in love with it too. I've got a list of all the names of people who mentioned it, and there's probably more, but there was a lot of comments, like 217 comments, I think, on YouTube, and then 87 comments over on Instagram. I'm just gonna name a few of you who said green beans was your favorite. Patricia, Lisa, Darlene, Megan, Leslie, Lori, Sheena, Jasmine, Emmy, Lynn, Roberta, Christy, Ann, April, Brittany. So without further ado, if you've never made my green beans, lots of people like it, not just us. So here you go. To get started, I'm gonna start with getting the green beans simmering. They're gonna simmer for about 30 minutes to an hour or so while we prepare the rest of it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is chop up some bacon. All right, this is done. We're gonna add in 2 cans of green beans that have been drained. I'm gonna add in some chicken broth. 1.5 cups to 2 cups is what you'll need. I'm also adding in about a teaspoon or so of garlic powder. About a tablespoon of brown sugar, and salt and pepper to taste. We're gonna bring this to a boil and then we will turn it down and let it simmer. And that's it. We went through 5 main dishes, 2 side dishes, and now I have a little surprise for you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed kind of going back in time and looking at these recipes. So maybe if you've never tried a recipe from my channel, you're like, I don't know which one to try. Try one of these because they are tried and true from subscribers who are saying, we love these. So it's not just us saying we love it. These people are saying it too. So give one of these a try first. As promised, I have a little surprise for you. And this is just a thank you. It's a Christmas present and a thank you all rolled into one. My channel has grown a lot this year in 2020. It has definitely been a blessing in this year. And I'm so appreciative to y'all for sticking around and caring about our family, not just caring about the food that I cook. I know that's why you're here for the most part, but you care about our family too. Our family has been going through some things with some family members lately. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. But if you've been around and you've told me, hey, we're praying for you, you don't know how much that means. It means so much. And just a little update. If you were following me on Instagram, you've already heard this update. I'll keep it short. But the family member who was in the hospital is now out of the hospital, still not doing well. And we are still waiting on test results for different things. But they're home at least. So that's good. Still be in prayer for them. And on my last vlog, a week and a half ago, I mentioned that I got a phone call about another family member, and I didn't share too much in the video because it had just happened. But my mom's brother passed away unexpectedly, and it was just a shock. Anytime it's unexpected, it's always a shock. So our family has just been going through a lot lately, and you guys have just really stepped up and just told me that you're praying for us, your thoughts are with us, and you've just been sending us so much love, and we so appreciate it. So this is a little gift back to y'all for all of the love and support, and it's a little Christmas gift. It's a $250 gift card to Amazon. Unfortunately, this is only for those who are in the US because that's the only gift card I think I can get. I've been doing a little bit of research and I can't quite figure out how to do an international Amazon gift card. So I'm so sorry. I hope that one day I will have some type of giveaway for those of you that are across the pond and watch me as well. But all you have to do to enter, it's really simple, is just be subscribed, like this video, and comment below. And your comment below needs to be a blessing or something that has happened to you personally in 2020 that you are thankful for. This year has not been the best of years. I think we all know that. But despite the nastiness and the craziness that has gone on, surely something good has happened to all of us at least one day out of this year. So there should be something that you can type below that was a blessing to you, something that made you smile in the year of 2020. So just comment that below. I want to hear all of the good that came out of 2020 because we know all of the bad, honey. We know. So let's end the year with a positive note and a smile on all of our faces and just say, hey, this was a blessing that happened to me in 2020. Comment below, and I'm going to leave this open until December 31st. So on New Year's Eve, I'm going to do a random drawing and pick someone that has commented, is subscribed, liked the video, and that person will win a $250 Amazon gift card. I wish I could give all of you something, even if it's just a hug. And I know we're not allowed to hug, but I so appreciate you. So this is just a small token of my appreciation, and good luck. So thank you for all of the love. Thank you for always checking on me. If I miss an upload, you're always there like, hey, is everything okay? You didn't upload today. And little things like that mean a lot. This is going to be my last video for the year of 2020. I'm going to take next week off. We've just got some things going on with the family, and Steven's going to be off work next week, so I don't want to be working either. So I will see you back here in January of 2021. 2021! But I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a very Happy New Year, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, y'all. Bye. That's gonna bother me. Should I scoot? I should scoot. Santa Claus is coming down. Ooh, I need my notes. I got notes. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Is that clear? Let's make sure. It's very clear now. Okay. Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi.
How's it going in there?
Great. Bye.
Bye.
What's up? You going to get a haircut? You so handsome.